Coming up on this edition of Southwest TV News. As the Cypress Health Region looks forward to opening the doors to the new 225-bed long-term care facility in Swift Current, behind-the-scenes work continues, especially in the area of staffing. As the city of Swift Current continues to investigate the future use of the land where the former St. Joseph School once operated, it's recently learned that the building requires delicate cleaning before being demolished. In the coming months, the area around the 2nd Avenue Overpass in Swift Current will see detours as work crews tackle the upgrades to this main artery in the community. Thanks for joining us here today. A variety of behind-the-scenes work continues to get ready for opening day of Swift Current's new long-term care facility. We find out more in today's top story. As the Cypress Health Region looks forward to opening the doors to the new 225-bed long-term care facility in Swift Current, behind-the-scenes work continues, especially in the area of staffing. This includes the transition of current and new employees into the brand-new facility adjacent to the Cypress Regional Hospital.
We've spent a significant amount of time talking with every single one of our staff and talking about what their options are to come. Every one of our current employees were offered a position in our new facility. We also know that because we're expanding the number of beds that we're going to have, that we're going to need more staff. We are in the process right now of recruiting up to 110 more CCAs. At this point, we have 70 people who have signed on with us. So that's a significant amount of recruiting that's been happening. Also looking at how do we then ensure that these people complete the education that's required within 2 years. So we've been working very closely with the college, with SAS Polytech in looking at how do we get all of these, increased numbers of staff through the 2-year training that they do when they become a CCA with our region.
Vashon further indicates that all meals for the 225 residents will be made on site in each of the home's kitchens, with the area of laundry addressed in the following manner.
Institutional laundry, of course, gets done through the provincial laundry system, but all personal laundry in long-term care has always been done and will continue to be done within each facility. Every home will have a washer and dryer, and the staff will be responsible for preparing people's personal laundry right in the home as they would in their own home.
Move-in day for long-term care residents starts on June the 5th from the Prairie Pioneer Lodge and Swift Current Care Center, followed by a second move on August the 7th, with the final move of all residents from the Palliser Regional Care Center on September the 18th. A grand opening for Swift Current's new long-term care facility will take place in the fall.
It's just a different way of looking at curling. It makes it fun and exciting and engaging.
It's the talk, interaction between the people.
It's like a family reunion, actually. You kind of, when you all get together, you've all have something in common or whatever, so it's kind of like a family reunion to me. That's how I feel.
A major environmental cleanup of the interior of the former St. Joseph School in Swift Current is required before demolition. We have more in this report. As the city of Swift Current continues to investigate the future use of the land where the former St. Joseph School once operated, it's recently learned that the building requires delicate cleaning before being demolished. Marty Solberg is the Director of Business Development and explains that an environmental assessment has taken place in phases at the site.
There had been a phase 1 environmental analysis just done on the whole site in general, and it's aside from the school, I don't think there's been anything ever being located there, so it was clean. But when you do get into the school itself and in the block wall and the insulation that was used, it is hazardous. So there is some vermiculite and some asbestos that will have to be removed.
Swift Current Mayor and Council have approved the contract of $92,000 to Winmar of Swift Current to undertake the environmental cleanup of the school. An unexpected cost which goes above the $1 original purchase price of the school and land. However, a necessary process in order to prepare the site for future development. And Sahlberg says the city will in turn recoup the environmental cleanup fees through its sale of the land. And a learning curve for the city of Swift Current for future projects similar in nature.
I mean, we're not in the demolition business, but through this whole scenario, we've done an analysis for the Omen School as well, so we'll know what we're up against there. But it's certainly, as things progress and OH&S and safety becomes more and more important, there's more in-depth analysis, and obviously when you're dealing with dangerous commodities, you have to deal with it properly.
And as far as a timeline for demolition, Sahlberg says this will depend on the schedule of the demolition company out of Saskatoon. In the meantime, discussion will continue with neighborhood residents of their ideas for new development on the former school grounds.
We've had two separate open houses with the neighbors of the area, which was very well received, and it was actually enjoyable. And I think, overwhelmingly, I think it should be more of a single family, not real dense homes there. So our consultant, which is Associated Engineering, put together the results of those two meetings, and we'll be meeting with the city representatives here at the end of April to kind of go through the infrastructure and some of the comments and designs that they've garnered from those public meetings. And then following that, we will end up having another public open house, which all the residents of the area that attended will be specifically invited.
St. Joseph's School is one of numerous school sites in Swift Current which the city has purchased for $1, including St. Pat's and Omen, with all land locations set for public discussion on future development in each neighborhood. In the coming weeks, crews will be busy working on upgrades to the 2nd Avenue Overpass in Swift Current, all to the tune of just over $4 million. In the coming months, the area around the 2nd Avenue Overpass in Swift Current will see detours as work crews tackle the upgrades to this main artery in the community. At a recent City Council meeting, approval was given to award the service contract to Graham Construction in the amount of $3.23 million and an additional $265,000 for SaskTel to relocate its communication utilities to the west side of the bridge. A total project budgeted by the city to not exceed $4.2 million, with the cost split with the city of Swift Current, province, and the federal government, each paying 1/3. A major project which has been on the city's radar for a number of years.
It's basically a full bridge deck rehab, which will jackhammer the concrete and the asphalt off right down to the rebar. That bridge has been there for a significant amount of time, so they'll treat the rebar and then we pour a whole new deck in there, redo the expansion joints, and then it should prolong the life of the bridge for several years to come.
And the upgrades to the overpass will also accommodate pedestrians, with safety at the forefront.
Like right now, there's currently a sidewalk on both sides of the street, so at the end of the day, we'll only have one sidewalk on one side, which gives us that much more width in the lanes to provide better traffic flow. And then there will also be a divider between the sidewalk and the lane to protect the people that are walking across the bridge.
An official start for the overpass upgrades is yet to be announced. However, local residents will be notified in advance of planned traffic detours in the area. Well, this brings to a close another episode of Southwest TV News, reporting the stories that matter to you. We always welcome your news tips. You can always reach us here by phone at our studio or by email to contact us at southwesttvnews.com. Also, be sure to join us daily online for the latest news from across Southwest Saskatchewan and so much more at MyLocalTV.ca. And be sure to follow us on a range of social media. Thanks for joining us here today. I'm Carol Andrews.